Hello all, welcome back. We will be looking at building a full stack application using Gemini AI Studio, Supabase and Netlify. And Netlify will be the environment where we'll be deploying this application. We look at the objective where we want to build this application using the tools Gemini AI Studio, Supabase and Netlify in 15 minutes. We look at the prerequisites. We should have signed up into Google AI Studio, signed up into Supabase, which is a backend or the database as a service, and then signed up also with Netlify to do the final deployment. Having done this, we will now start with the project. We will start with building the backend database. So this is the sign in page. I'm going to sign in with a GitHub account. I have already created an organization called LifeSkill. You may want to add your own organization. Then go to the left hand side on the top, you have an icon in green color next to organization or before organization. Click that. You'll have an option, you'll see the screen where you can create the projects. So you're going to create a new project. I'm in a free tier, which means I can create only 2 projects. If you upgrade to the next level, you will be able to you will be able to build additional projects. Okay. Now when I click on create new project, I get an option to build a project name, the password, and other information. Project name, I'm going to give it as rest bar, and then password is very generic, so there's no significance at this point in time. I will keep it to what I usually give, and then click on create project. So what happens is your project is created called rest bar, and then you have certain information that you need to look at. If you come down, scroll down, you just see the project API. This is something we'll have to supply during the build. Project URL and the project API, both copy it and keep it in your document, which we'll be using at the time of build. Now, at this point in time, we have completed the database build. So we will move to the front-end development. So if you look at the front-end development, we will start with a Google Studio. So I need to put in the prompt. I already have built the prompt. I'm going to develop a web application for a restaurant with an option for creating or adding food menu with no image, option to order food, bill to be generated, have it reporting on a daily basis and also on monthly basis, and also backend will be Supabase. I'm going to put in that. I'm also going to add one more prompt saying build should be Netlify environment and friendly. Okay, now I'm going to click on the build. So if you see the scroll, it starts scrolling, which means it's thinking, and it has triggered the building process. So let us wait until the user interface is completed. And once it is completed, we will check how it connects to the database and then come back to test the application in full before we deploy. Now we will supply the database information. by copying the project URL and the anon public API keys. Now we see the front end has been created. However, we see that the menu items are not been fetched because they says and the API key is invalid. I'm going to supply again and do a refresh. So I have entered the or repasted the anon key, and I'm also going to keep the public URL handy just in case if the application is still we see that the database, the application is not able to fetch from the database, which means we have not created the tables, which we will ask the so Gemini AI Studio is creating the required script for us. We will go and find out what the script is. So we'll go into Supabase. We'll go into SQL editor. We'll paste the script provided by Gemini Studio and run. Looks like there's been no errors at this point in time. So we'll come back to refresh the application to see if it works. We do not see any errors. We are going to start creating the menu. I'm going to add a new menu called Coke, and then I'm going to say add the item. And then I'm going to say cake, add the item. So we are going to add a few more items for testing. Then we'll add some. So if you see, you have the following items added. We'll go to the menu called place order. we will order the order has been created. We can order one more item. If you go look at the sales report, you will see one bill has been created for $21. Again, we're going to add some more item. We're going to add pizza, about 5 items, and then generate the bill. So if you go into sales report, you will see two orders for total 21. Looking at monthly sales, we also have two orders for $71. So at this point in time, what we have got the application interface, and it is also connected to the backend database and working fine. Now we will start the deployment. So we'll have to go to the tab called code. Okay, we'll have to go to tab code, and then we will do a download. So we'll call it as pause. We will extract all the components. Okay, then we will go to Netlify. I have already signed in, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new project, which means I'm going to drag and drop the files. I'm going to ask for all the files to be uploaded. So the deploy initialization has been completed, build is in progress, build has been completed. So if you scroll up, you will see the where the deployment has been completed. We also can do a small thing. We can go to we will first test it and see if it works fine. So this is the URL where it has been deployed. You can, we already created some items. We are going to add some more items called uh, some chocolates. Min has been added. So we're going to place orders and see if it works. We'll order some 10 items of this along with some Coke, some 5 items, okay. And then place an order. Order has been successfully placed and closed as well. So if you go to the sales report, you will see 3 orders for the day and the same case for monthly as well. Now the application seems to be working well. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change some of these information. For example, this project URL, I want to change a little. I'm going to make it as resto bar. Okay, resto bar has already been taken. I'm just adding a new thing called RBI for resto bar. So this is a new URL where the application has been deployed. So this is how it, we are just getting back the same item. We just add one more item to see everything works fine. ABC at $200. I'm just adding that. I'm going to create and place an order by so bill has been generated. So if you go to the sales report, if you look at daily sales, we have 4 orders. So data is persistent and we are able to also add new items and check everything. Okay. So that's pretty much what we have. We took about 18-20 minutes to complete. We have seen what needs to go into the studio. So that's all we have at the moment. Thanks for watching. This is for building a full stack application using Gemini AI Studio with database and deployment on the web. The same application, you can also test it on your tablet or on your phone. Okay, I'll just show you how it works. If you go to the AI Studio, if you go to the preview, you can also change the device from mobile to tablet and see how it works. Okay, so that's all we have. Thanks for joining. Good luck.